G'day everyone, be excited. The Victorian trout season is about to open and the streams are looking fantastic, and in this video I'm going to be showing you all of the gear that I'm going to be taking with me when the season opens. Now have a look behind me here. How good does that look? We've had a bit of rain and the streams are looking great. It hasn't been the wettest winter, we haven't had any major flooding, but we have had enough rain to continually top the streams up, and there should have been plenty of food in the streams during the close season for the trout to fatten up on. I'm not sure how the season is going to pan out. I'm expecting it to be better than last year, but not great. Now at the moment it's the 30th of August. The weather forecast for the week leading up to trout season is mostly dry. So based on what I can see here, and what's in the forecast, the streams should be in pretty good condition when the season opens. Also, I haven't come up here to go fishing in the close season. I would never do that in a million years. I'm actually shopping. I've got Holly in the car. We've been away to another town. I knew I was going to be coming home past this way, so I took a detour up here and I brought my trout gear with me to run through what I'm going to be using because a number of people have requested this video. Let's talk about what I'm going to take with me. I've got two bags that I take fishing. I've got a big green bag. I usually take that cod fishing and I can put my cod lures and a bottle of water and stuff in it. In the springtime, I'll often drink the water out of the stream, so I don't need to take water. But this is the bag I usually take trout fishing. Sometimes I take the big green bag if it's an extended hike, or if I'm in a lowland stream or something where I don't want to drink the water and I've got to carry extra stuff. But as I'm getting older, most of my trout fishing trips are getting shorter and shorter, and this is more than sufficient for what I need. Now I'll open it up. You can't see me open it up. I was hoping to film this on a table, but I'm not. It's a weekend and the picnic tables are all taken, and also it's actually very windy. I'm down in a steep gully here getting out of the wind. Right, I've got heaps of lures and I'll go into them last. I'll put them over there. Righto, in my bag, I have this. I take this with me a lot when I'm trout fishing. It's just a Fiscus, I think it is. Fiscus. It's a foldable hand saw, and it just helps me saw through small trees. Now, just thinking now while I'm filming, I wonder if that fits the criteria for being a machete now and it's illegal. I don't know. Surely not, it's a saw. Anyway, I take that with me so that when there's small trees and stuff that are harder to get through, I can clear a path and help me get through. That's come in very handy a lot on my trout fishing adventures. Here I have my Cyclone foldable secateurs in this bag. I don't even remember where I got these. I've had them so long. I know you can get similar on Amazon. They're like a Leatherman. You fold them open, but instead of being a pair of pliers, it's a pair of secateurs. You just push that lock across and away you go. That has come in so handy for me over the years, and I never realised it's actually got a knife in there as well, and another little saw, and another little knife, and that. I don't know what that is. I never knew they were there. I've never used them. I only ever use these for secateurs. These come in particularly handy when there's a lot of blackberries around. Very, very handy. It's one tip I've got for anybody trout fishing is to carry some kind of pruning or gardening implements like a saw or secateurs just to help you get through the thick stuff. When I was younger, I used to crawl under the blackberries, almost through wombat holes and stuff, but I just can't do it now. I'm older, it's harder. I've got a bad back, it's harder to bend down. It's often easier for me to stand upright and cut my way through. Two handy devices there. I have some Strike Tiger Galaxia oil soft plastic. Lure scent, sorry. I don't use lure scent a lot. It's not something I use all the time, but it is something that I'll turn to if the trout are following my lures and not really striking hard and hooking up. Sometimes I'll go to the lure scent just to try and entice that more aggressive strike. Now, don't ask me where I got these. Are they forceps, are they called? I don't know. They're medical, for medical things. But they're also handy for putting down the fish's mouth and getting a hook out, especially if you're bait fishing or if you're fly fishing and or a soft plastic even and you're using a single hook. That being said, when I'm soft plastic fishing, I reckon 9 out of 10 hookups are lip hooked. It's rare to hook a fish on a soft plastic down deep. Well, that's what I found anyway. Now, I've got heaps of soft plastics in here. I'll just run through them quickly, starting with my favourite, my number one trout soft plastic. I've said it so many times on my channel, and I've only got two in here. That is the Strike Tiger Nymph in black and gold colour. I love black and gold. Black is a good colour. Dark colours are great for trout. Bright colours like oranges and yellows and stuff are good late in the season when the trout are getting ready to spawn. When the trout season first opens up in Victoria in September, trout could still be feeding on orange because some trout can still be spawning really late towards the end of the season, particularly rainbow trout. But usually I like dark colours. So I've got the Strike Tiger Nymph in black and gold. That's my all-time number one trout lure. I've also got 2-inch bug, the Strike Tiger 2-inch bug in black and gold. That's just like a nymph, but it's twice the size, just in case I find a pool with a really big fish in it, or I'm going somewhere bigger and wider. But in small streams like this, I prefer the nymph or the micro minnow, the black and gold micro minnow. Now these other colours here, most of them are just to mix it up a little bit to give me a few choices. I've got the black and gold nymph, which is what I just showed you, but this is the Pro Series nymph. Pretty much of a muchness, it doesn't really matter. I put that in because I've only got two left in the other packet. I've got some olive pepper micro minnows, just to try green. Some black and gold 1.5-inch curl tail grubs. Now this next one will shock the owner of Strike Tiger when he sees it. I reckon there's not too many people with these in their bags. The 1-inch black and gold froglet. I don't know whether you can get the Strike Tiger froglet anymore. These are a dynamite soft plastic. I never even realised I still had this. I was just going through looking for some dark colours to load in my bag for trout opening, and I saw that there and thought, you beauty! I've got some olive pepper micro minnows. Didn't I already have some of them? Oh well, you can never have too many. 2 packets of olive pepper micro minnows. Some gum beetle soft plastic, gum beetle nymphs. These got me out of trouble one day. I was fishing and not doing any good, and I'd made a few changes, and I thought, I'll try this on. And for whatever reason, the fish climbed all over this colour. I don't know why. Nothing else was working, but that did on that particular day. That's why I like to have lots of different colours. Copper berry micro minnow. These colours with a bit of red in them, like this cranberry nymph, they can be good early in the season when the stream's a bit high and there's been a bit of rain, and there's a fair chance that there could be some worms in the system. Something with a bit of red could represent a worm or something. I've just found red works well early in the season. These two models, the micro minnow and the nymph, are my favourite for trout. The leech is great, the bug is great, but these are my favourites, the micro minnow and the nymph. I've got black mint nymph. The reason I've got that in there is sometimes you find beetles. I remember a few years ago I was fishing a stream and I wasn't catching many fish, and I looked at a rock and there were some little black beetles on it. It was a really humid spring afternoon, and those beetles had quite a bit of blue on them. So I put on a midnight blue or a blue bottle or a starlight. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been starlight, something black with a bit of blue, and straight away started catching fish. So if I see little bugs with a bit of green on them, this black mint will be going straight on. The disco coloured nymph. Disco is a very good all-rounder. I've caught a lot of trout on that. Now, this isn't all about soft plastics. I've got 7 or 8 more, then I'll go into my other lures. The claret nymph, same as the cranberry, it's just a red nymph. I like the idea of having something red. Coffee is a good all-rounder. It served me very well. Once again, olive pepper, this time in the nymph. Here we go, starlight in 1.5-inch curl tail grub. And June bug, that's got a little bit of blue on it as well. So if I see those black beetles at some stage and they've got little bits of blue on them, I'll be putting that on. Right, I've only got a few left. Black and gold micro minnow. These things are deadly. I love black and gold nymphs and micro minnows. I've got this, there's a fly in there as well actually. One of those little one of those little nymph spinners that I filmed a couple of years ago. But I brought that orange colour. I can't see what it is, the sticker's gone. I'm pretty sure it's trout roe. I brought that just in case there's a few rainbows around, because the rainbow trout spawn later than the browns, and the rainbows might still be looking for eggs and stuff in the stream, and that orange will represent that colour really well. Now, these three, these are probably the best of the lot, but not until after Christmas, and that is the black caviar. The black with the red flake. I've got the black caviar leech, the black caviar micro minnow, which is just dynamite, and the black caviar nymph. They are one of my favourites, but not until after Christmas. I just find the black and gold of the same models, the black and gold seems to be better in the spring, black and red in the summer and early into the autumn. They love it after Christmas. Now, what else have I got here? I've got a few jig heads of varying sizes. This packet's that old, I don't even know what size they are, but they're a little bit bigger. I've got some heavier ones like that in there in case I'm out fishing and I go to a larger river and I want to cast further, or I end up at Lake Hume or something and on the way home and I can just cast for some redfin or something off the bank. 132 size 6. That is ideal for the micro minnow and also the nymph. 132 size 6. Here's some 132 size 4. A little bit big for the minnow, but great for the nymph. Either of them, they're the two jig heads that I use the most when I'm soft plastic fishing for trout. When I'm fishing for redfin, I use much heavier. There's a 164 size 8. These are very good when the fish are really, really playing hard to catch, but they're hard to cast because they're so light, and the weighted head, the lead head, will actually come in through the eye of your rod if you're not careful. You can work them so slow, and it really gives the fish a chance to engulf it and exhale it and get it stuck in the side of its mouth. All right, 132 size 6. And what have I got here? 332 size 4, and that's in case I end up at a lake somewhere. 116 size 2, just a little bit bigger than the 132, twice the size, just in case I want a bit of extra weight. Some more 132 size 4. And now I've got a spoon. I thought I had two of them. Oh, there it is. I've got two Striped Tiger spoons in. But if you're going out to buy some soft plastics just to go trout fishing, I won't waste time looking right through there now. But oh, that might be them there, is it? I would be getting the black and gold nymph and the 132 size 6 or 1/16th, probably a 1/16th if you haven't got a lot of experience, because you just get that bit of extra casting distance. Look for a 1/16th size 6, so it's 1/16th of an ounce with a size 6 hook and the black and gold nymph. If you're buying trout lures for a friend or a loved one, that is a great way to start. 1/16th ounce size 6 jig head with the black and gold Striped Tiger nymph. Now, let's move on to other lures. That's the soft plastics I'm taking. Right, if I go through all these individually, I'm probably going to be here for a month. So I'll pick out the ones that I use the most and that I'm most likely to use again, and they're all tangled anyway. That one there with a couple of bladed spinners hanging off it, that's a Damiki Era 55. Sorry about the lures hanging off it. That looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it? There's one off. Actually, that's got broken hooks, but I'll still use it anyway. Damiki Era 55. You can get them from the Master Angler website. That's served me very well over the years. Just last year, I discovered bullet lures. I know a lot of people have liked bullet lures. They've been around quite a long time now, and I've always I've fished with a lot of people that use them. I've always known about them, but I never realised just how awesome they were until I went out last year and I bought a couple, particularly for redfin fishing. A friend of mine, Brad Tuckerman, gave one to Holly. It was a silver one, the real small 3 centimetre sinking model. I'm a big fan of the bullet lures. I'm not sponsored by bullet lures. I've been out and bought them myself. And that's another bullet lure there. That's just a different colour. I've also got a few Pontoon 21s. I've got a number of lures in here. They're all so tangled. Doesn't help that there's loop knots still on. There's the minnows that I'm taking. I'll tell you what's in there. There's a Pontoon 21 Tantalizer, a Pontoon 21 Greedy Guts. There's a couple of Tassie Devils. There's a couple of Rapalas. This was sent to my mail time a few years ago and I have caught fish on it. That's a tiny weeny little rainbow trout pattern Rapala. Over this side is another Pontoon 21 Greedy Guts. That's a little Pontoon 21 Greedy Guts. I'm a huge fan of Pontoon 21. They're Japanese made, good quality, and they catch fish. They're very, very good at catching fish. And I've got I've got a whole heap of spinners here. Look, they're all tangled. There's no point in me getting them out. But I've got some French Touch tackle spinners here in this greeny colour, if I can get one out. Once again, going back to what I said before about those beetles, anything colourful but shiny like that is good if you see beetles and bugs and stuff that have got a shiny back, like some of the blowflies and stuff that get out the bush, and yeah, just beetles and stuff. So folks, I've got a couple of rooster tail spinners in here as well, and I think I've got a super vibrax or two in there somewhere, and I've also got a couple of old pre-rigged jig heads that I've taken off, and I've made lure changes in the past, and they're just laying around the bottom there. So I've got heaps of minnows, but the ones I'm most likely to be using are the soft plastics. I love soft plastics, and if I want to use a minnow, I love the Pontoon 21s. I love the Pontoon 21 tantalizer, the jointed tantalizer, and I love the Pontoon 21 greedy guts, and I'm a huge fan of the bullet lures. There's a couple of wild bait lures in there, and the French touch tackle spinners. Now, new for this season, and this is why I brought this with me, a couple of years ago I reviewed this rod. It's an Akuma LRF, light reinforced fibre, LRF S502L. That's light reinforced fibre. S I think means short. 502L means 5 foot 2-piece lightweight, 150 centimetres, 2 to 8 grams. So in other words, this is the rod that I reviewed, and I reviewed it with an Akuma Cymar reel. Now, in that video, I said the Cymar was okay for 120 bucks, but it wasn't great. And I sort of still stand by that. I had issues with the drag. I ended up losing a part of the drag, and I ended up having a silent drag, and it got tangled occasionally. Look, I'm not going to bag the reel out. I think for what you pay, it's not too bad, but I want something better because I do a lot of fishing. So I went out recently, just this week just gone, and I bought the Daiwa TD Black. I bought one of these last year to put on my longer rod, on my redfin rod, and I absolutely loved it. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. That's the 2500 size. So this year I've got the 2000 size. I've still got that on my other longer Shimano Sedona, but I've got this little Daiwa 2000 TD Black 4-pound Maxima Ultra Green, and I've got it on this little Akuma LRF 2-piece spin rod. At the moment, it's got a little orange striped tiger nymph, and that's because I haven't used this setup since last year. So I took that lure off, changed reels, put line on, then just tied the lure straight back on. That's what I ended my season with last season, but it's not what I'll be starting with this season. I reckon if we don't get any rain, given how the streams look, I reckon I'll be starting with a striped tiger nymph in black and gold colour. There you go, folks. That's what's in my tackle bag. I'm not sure whether I'll get out on the actual opening. I'm hoping to. All things are looking good, so I should be able to. Good luck for those of you heading out. Fingers crossed that we can get a better trout season this year than what we did last year. Thank you all very much for watching.